is up, PNP PokeAim here, and today with me I have my boy.
Sucker4Jessica, what's going on, PNP? This is a dual narrative, actually. I was about to say new. Go figure. It's a dual narrative between me and my buddy PokeAim here. This is the final battle we had for the PNP tournament that took place October 8th in New Jersey. So let's get this underway. Let's talk a little bit about the teams.
Alright, so I'm using a sand team that I really like. I'm really trying out my Mew on this team, which is a stall breaker, and my extra belt Hydreigon, and Kashif seems to be using like a rain team, which is kind of ironic just because in the last PNP tourney that we both went to, we both ended up in the finals, and I used the rain team, he used the sand team, so it's kind of a repeat of last time. We just switched it around a bit. And just looking at our teams, he does have a Thunderous, and I do have an Excadrill. This match took place the day before they were banned, so, yeah, anything else to add?
That's funny, right?
Yeah. Alright, so, yeah, we can just start this match right now. Take the first turn, Kashif.
Alright, no problem. Well, I keep messing it up because I'm not so used to narrating videos that I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum. So I was about to say I'm leading up with T-Tar, but I'm actually the one with the Rotom. I'm thinking that he was going to lead up with Tyranitar anyway because T-Tar will be naturally slower than Politoed, which means that he'll be able to get up his sand right away. So I take the time, get some residual damage with the Will-O-Wisp here, and I stay in. And go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of stayed in with my T-Tar just to get on my rocks and kind of checking if this was a choice set because I didn't want him tricking my Gastrodon, which would be like an obvious switch in. He ends up actually dual Will-O-Wisping, and he does end up burning my Gastrodon, which is going to get some residual damage on it, so that's a nice play on his part.
Yeah, so that was actually pretty good because I was actually predicting him to switch out to something else. I thought, it would be kind of foolish for him to try to stay with Tyranitar. Keep seeing that he might want to obviously win the Weather War since he has Excadrill out in play. And when I saw his team preview, I'm like, wow, Gastrodon, I don't have hidden power or grass or anything like that. The only thing with the grass move is Jirachi, which you guys will see later on. But it's going to be tough to try to switch that in and inflict damage on the Gastrodon.
Yeah, so I kind of switched out versus his Politoed just because I saw no leftovers, so I thought he would be like a choice Specs or Scarf, and he would have the HP Grass, which he doesn't turn out to have. So I switched into my Skarmory. He ends up going for the Ice Beam, predicting my switch maybe into my Hydreigon, and I am able to lay up one layer of spikes as he does go out into his Jirachi.
Yeah, so now I have Jirachi in play, and this Jirachi does happen to have Thunder, so I can hit the Skarmory, but I'm going to predict him to switch out to his Gastrodon, being that Gastrodon does wall Jirachi in a sense where, the natural sets would have like Thunder Wave or Iron Head. Gastrodon resists all of that jazz. So I go for the Grass Knot, but unfortunately I hit the wrong target. I hit an Excadrill.
Yeah, and I was kind of expecting him to switch out into his Bronzong, so I double switch out into my Skarmory, knowing that his Bronzong can't really touch me. It can get up its Stealth Rocks, but I can get up a few more layers of spikes and Whirlwind when I need to.
So I just noticed that I had limited amount of opportunities to come in and switch in with the Bronzong to set up entry hazards of my own. But then I noticed that I don't even have a spinner on this team, where it's like the more entry hazards he has in places, the more limited I'll be into taking his team out. If that makes sense. I said, oh, wow.
Yeah. So I got up two layer spikes. I knew he would be expecting me to get up my second. Probably was going to end up switching out to his Thunders. So I went for the Whirlwind. Going to get to that 25% damage from Stealth Rocks. Whirling him out into his Jirachi. I'm going to switch into my Excadrill, predicting that Thunder.
Yeah, so Thunder doesn't even affect it at all. I'm thinking like, wow, I can't do anything. I'm scared of the Excadrill now because it would be kind of foolish for me to stay in with the Excadrill while it does have access to Swords Dance. So like Swords Dance and a +2 Earthquake or something like that is not really looking good for anything but my Thunderous that I have on my team, considering that if I do get a chance to get up my Rain, which I do now since I switched up to Politoed.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting him to switch again after he switched into his Bronzong, since I could easily switch into my Skarmory and Wallet. So I went for the double Rock Slide. I'm going to end up hitting that Politoed, which is going to be very crucial because it does essentially mean that I did win the Weather War, since I am going to be able to go out into my Tyranitar and Sand is going to be up and entry hazards are going to kill him on me switching.
That's true, and I already knew that I lost the Weather War as soon as Politoed came in and took the Rock Slide. So I'm like, you know something, let me just double switch, knowing that he was going to go out into his Tyranitar, double switch out into Rotom just to try to inflict some damage onto it. But then knowing Joey, I thought that he was going to probably try to switch out again, you know, I guess to save his Politoed, save his Tyranitar. But I guess Tyranitar already served his purpose. He won the Weather War, so there's no real reason for him to want to keep his Tyranitar.
Yeah, exactly. I'm already at low enough HP. I do carry that Chople Berry, so even if the Thundurus did go for the Focus Blast later on, kind of talking about something that could happen later on, my Tyranitar would die just because at the range of HP it was at since of that burn. And I just left in my Tyranitar pretty much as Death Fodder, like Kashif said. I did win the Weather War essentially, so and it already got up his rock, so there's no real point of keeping it in, so that's why I let it die right there.
So it's funny that I'm still actually going for all these extra, just in case moves like Wish instead of just taking the time to finish off the Tyranitar with the Iron Head like I should have done a turn earlier. In comes the Excadrill. I switch out to Rotom. I'm like, hey, here he goes. The Rock Slide, just getting off a little bit more residual damage onto my Rotom, which is not looking good because I'm still kind of fearful of that Gastrodon that he still has out in play. He switches into it right now.
Yeah, he's just going to go for the Pain Split, predicting that good play on his part. He's going to be able to recover, but it doesn't really matter at all just because I do also have Recovery in the form of Recover, so I can easily go back up to near full HP if he chooses to switch, which is exactly what he's going to do just because I'm already burned and he can't touch me.
I swear, I'm gonna spam Hidden Power Grass. Like that's just this thing is just completely messing with me. He goes for the Recover, and it looks like nothing even happened. Like just Rotom just came in and Will-O-Wisp, and that was it. He just recovered all his HP back. I do have the Grass Knot. He does know this. I bring in Jirachi, so I go for the Wish, trying to psych him out. But he stays in, hits me for Scald, and I'm like, no, you're supposed to switch. No.
Yeah, I predicted him not to go for the Grass Knot since I could easily just switch into Excadrill, so I knew he would go for the Wish, went for the Scald, trying to get that burn on him. I do indeed get it, and now I'm actually going to go for the double Scald because I know he's going to pass that Wish to something, either his Thundurus or his Scizor, which he does have.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that he would switch out actually because I do have Grass Knot, and any damage that he does, seeing that Gastrodon does have access to Earthquake and or Earth Power to Jirachi, which will take super effective damage from ground type moves, will be restored from the Wish as I inflict Grass Knot onto the Gastrodon. So I wasn't expecting him to go for another Scald, and he burns my Scizor. So I'm like, wow.
Yeah, so now I'm actually going to switch out into my Excadrill. As he switches out into his Thundurus, I was kind of fearing the Bug Bite, which he doesn't turn out to carry later on that we do find out. But in either case, this is a great switch for me. I do have the advantage right here. And I'm actually just going to go for either the Rapid Spin or the Rock Slide right here. I believe I just go for the Rock Slide just to play it safe.
Yeah, he goes for Rock Slide just in case, for my Thundurus, because Thundurus is actually the biggest threat to his Excadrill here. And I know this, hence why I keep trying to switch out and switch back in my Thundurus to try to get up a substitute, but it's not looking like that's going to happen anytime soon. I do happen to have Earthquake on my Bronzong, which is pretty good, actually. And even if it does happen to get +2 with the Excadrill I'm talking about, it won't be able to one-shot my my Bronzong, so he switches out into a Hydreigon.
Yeah, I switched out to my Hydreigon. Before I knew I could take an Earthquake, so I just went for that Rapid Spin. Gonna go out to Hydreigon. He goes out into his Jirachi. He's great for me. I do outspeed it. He's at like nothing with his HP, and I'm gonna be able to go for that modest Fire Blast and finish off his Jirachi.
So I'm like, great. There goes my last chance for finishing off the Gastrodon, because Gastrodon, that's all I keep thinking about this whole battle. I'm like, Gastrodon's like high health. Never mind that Hydreigon staring at me, straight in the face. So just Gastrodon. I switch in Rotom, and I double switch out to Thundurus, thinking that he was going to probably switch out, but he hits me hard with the Draco Meteor. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I'm actually an extra belt Hydreigon, which I was testing. It does beat Mew, and it does psych out a lot of people since typically people think that Hydreigon is either choiced in some sort of way. So he ends up going out into his Bronzong after his Thunder goes down, and I'm just going to go out into my Gastrodon pretty much just to wall it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's pretty lucky that he got the burn earlier on, because that means that I can't necessarily inflict too much physical damage onto Gastrodon. And if you guys know that Gastrodon does have more of a special bulk than a physical bulk, once I get like a Swords Dance or something like that onto it, like 1 or +2 or something like that, considering that he doesn't have the burn, I can actually inflict some major damage onto it. But then again, he has Skarmory, so, you know, it's pointless.
Yeah, the Skarm Gastrodon core is amazing. And I just switched it to my Skarmory, not scared of him at all. I do have max defense, max HP. Could take any hit, even if he was not burned, even if he wasn't burned. He told me that he's more of a defensive spread, so he still wouldn't be doing that much to me with that superpower, and I can just whirlwind him out, which I do right here. And unfortunately, I do whirlwind him out into his Rotom Wash.
So I'm thinking, like, yes, I can actually hit something with an electrical attack, but wait a minute, Gastrodon again. The bane of my existence for this whole battle. So I'm thinking, like, okay, he's going to switch out into his Gastrodon. I'm just going to play and split. But he predicts that nicely, goes to the Whirlwind. So I'm like, wow, when I come in, I'm going to take another unnecessary 12% from the Self-Lock. Thanks, Joey. I really appreciate it.
No problem, bud. And I'm going to be able to whirl him out into his Brawlzone right here. He really can't do anything to me. Nobody's probably just going to set up his rocks again, even though it doesn't really matter because I'm not really switching out my Skarmory anytime soon. And I am able to whirl him out, unfortunately, into his Rotom Wash.
Yeah, I should have actually went for an attacking move now that I look back on it. I do happen to have Hidden Power Ice, which won't necessarily do all too much, but it's going to play a huge significance here as I go for the Volt Switch. I'm like, yes, I'm going to hit the Skarmory, but unfortunately, no, I don't take it out. Are you kidding?
Yeah, and he's going to Volt Switch out into his Brawlzone. What was I going to say? The HP Ice right there really would have helped him because I go for the Brave Bird and I still live the recoil, which probably pissed him off just a bit. And I'm going to be able to boost off the damage as he does hit me with an Earthquake, predicting that, but it's not going to do that much because, like I said, I do run max defense and max HP.
Wow, I was like, yeah, I was pretty tight at that. I was like, wow, you know something? I know he's gonna go for the Roost, so I'll go for Earthquake like he just said, and Earthquake doesn't do anything. So I'm like, you know, this is horse. Like, can I give up? Can I give up? Seriously? But you know, I can't. Or people watching me and stuff like that. I don't necessarily I'm not necessarily that tight. But hey, at the end, there's nothing I can do. He still has that Skarmory Gastrodon core. I'm taking all this residual damage, burn. Look at all this jazz, man. It's redonkulous.
And I am able to whirl him out into his Scissor right here. I do outspeed his Scissor. Just going to go for that safe Brave Bird just to knock him out. Don't feel like whirling him in and having him Roost, then just rinse repeating the process because this is just a bit faster in my opinion.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go out into Rotom now, and I think I'm just going to go for another... No, actually, I'll go for Hydro Pump, but that was kind of risky because he could have went out to his Gastrodon and then got a special attack boost or whatever, and it just hit me with the Skulls. Well, I can't inflict any damage whatsoever to his Gastrodon, but it doesn't even matter. Why am I still concerning myself with Gastrodon when he has Hydreigon in play? He brings in Hydreigon and goes for the...
Bring him a modest Hydreigon. I'm just going to go for that Dark Pulse to be able to finish him off. And it's pretty much going to be game because his Bronzong will go down to a Fire Blast unless I don't hit, which I actually missed right here, and he is able to hit me with a Gyro Ball.
Power! Miss again!
Yeah, but as you can tell by the length of the video, I obviously don't miss again, and I'm going to be able to knock out his Bronzong. So that was a great game, Kashif. Anything to say to PMP?
Yeah, dude, I definitely had a lot of fun playing you. Guys, don't forget to check out the rest of PMP as well as our own personal channels. Definitely had a lot of fun. This is what true Pokemon is about. Just fun and games, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll do it now.
Yeah, I definitely advise you guys to come out. Yeah, later.
Alright, peace. What you doing?